art should be everywhere. It should be accessible when you're walking to school or going to work. It shouldn't be something that you have to pay to go see. Therefore, I think that us making efforts of trying to bridge the gap between downtown and the community in Santa Ana is actually, like, for us, I rather paint outside of downtown because there's already so much art there. But in Santa Ana, it's not that easy, regardless of, people putting it out in the media like it is, or us getting funded.
And not only that, I mean, to actually paint walls outside of, like, downtown, it's really complicated to obtain walls, number one, because, I mean, the homeowners have, like, this misconception that you need all this crazy, like, you need a permit and I mean, we personally have experienced it where, we painted on the outskirts of Santa Ana, and the city, or let's say the code enforcement or whoever it was, did approach the homeowner and kind of like muscle them into either taking it off the wall or finding them for every day that it's going to stay up. So I mean, with that being said, the homeowner was kind of forced, in a sense, to kind of take it down because he didn't have the financial to be paying fines just to have the art piece up. So I mean, the type of things that the people outside of downtown
have to deal with.
Yeah. And I mean, we see art in downtown. Like I said, we have a studio there, so we see art in downtown constantly being popped up, left and right, up and down. There's no problem at all. People come, take pictures. Why? Because it's a different crowd. It's like kind of more customers. But if you have a private owned business outside of the city,
you should be able to take the liberty of putting a mural, whether it's on your business or your home, and whether it is graph or not. Like, people that have private property in Santa Ana don't need to get a permit because Santa Ana doesn't even have a system for murals. They don't have a mural ordinance. They don't have any laws or anything that would prohibit you or require you to have a permit. Therefore, I feel like it's important for people to know that because they don't.
And that's why we attend these meetings. I mean, we go to city meetings to kind of be well informed of like the rules and regulations. Because again, I mean, we're professional artists and we don't want to break any rules or regulations or put anybody in trouble. So I mean, we go to the necessary steps to be well informed of what's within the guidelines, where what's acceptable, unacceptable, politically correct, everything of that nature. So I mean, the fact that we know that there's no actual mural ordinance or particular like actual council when it determines art or how to go about like it having it up or not, as long as it's not city owned, there is no actual guideline. And that's why we go to these meetings, to be informed and updated with these things. So I mean, to see our mural actually get taken down, what we know personally, there is actually no artist commission at the moment of today. I mean, it's kind of like interesting, but again, the fact that it was in the outskirts of downtown, it's a normal business, Mexican owned, so like that right there kind of makes you wonder, like, I mean, what's really the agenda behind public art?
But with that, the fact that we have that knowledge and we know that it is free range when it comes to private walls, I'm extremely grateful and feel like grateful for the privilege of this developer that has blessed us with the ability to paint this wall in downtown off of Grand and 4th Street, because it's actually it's like the outskirts, kind of like the entrance of downtown, but there's more community there. There's more people there that are able to view the art on their daily commute, and it's not like you have to go pay or buy a coffee and sit in a coffee shop to enjoy art.
And not only that, I mean, to actually see the community come together and watch us paint and bring us offerings of water or plug us in with electricity or whatever the means may be. I mean, they just want to be involved, and to give them an opportunity to kind of experience that, and like not to be like, oh, you got to be in this confined area where only this is where art is exposed. It's like, that's not true. I mean, you're part of the community. You're more than welcome, like all age, all genders, no preference of anything. It's just like, dude, like you're part of we're all a human race, you know? And I mean, ultimately, that's kind of, art is the universal language, and we're here to amplify that, amplify love and, you know, unity, and, you know, let people know that. I mean, we got to be kind to one another and just, you know, like take it back to where it's like humanity as a whole needs to kind of embrace and empower one another and just be a better fucking world.
And remember your humanity. I feel like that is why this image is so important to us, because it doesn't necessarily have a race, you know, attached to the Mother Earth. She's full of all colors, and she's surrounded by nature, which I feel like is a reminder of your connection to being human. A lot of times I feel like we're going in a direction that humanity is like getting lost, whether it is taking a walk down the street and saying good morning to someone or smiling. Like, we live in a time where people don't even want to acknowledge each other because they're so scared.
Or you smile and you're the weirdo. It's like, okay, since when is that? Like,
right?
That's crazy.
Therefore, I feel like this image is created by us for the community to remember their humanity and not to disconnect from it, because we are all human regardless of what race you are, regardless of how much money you have in your bank account or whether you have Gucci shoes or whatever. Like, we're all the same, and we're all gonna end up in the same place, which is down under 6 feet under.
Yeah.
And also I feel like it's important for artists to give back, because there's this large misconception nowadays that artists are starving, that artists don't have money, or they do art for fun, or they don't get paid,
or they're peasants,
basically. And if we look at history, we'll see that plenty of times there's been many artists that we're still acknowledged nowadays that would dabble with mixing with kings and royalty. And the artists nowadays, it's like it's more like kind of like disrespectful when people think like, oh, well, you're just like starving, or you don't have.
Stereotyped artists were kind of like
essential, regardless of whether they tell you it's essential or not, regardless of whether due to COVID it's not essential for some people, but art is always essential because it brings us together. And it's everywhere, whether it is in the building you're living in, on your shoes, or the jacket that you're wearing. Like, art is essential to fabricate the materials and mediums that are around us.
So anyways, that being said, I mean, this is one of the murals that we produce here in the city of Santa Ana by artist Kimberly Duran, aka Shmi One, and Bud Herrera, Dealt One. So I mean, this is what it's all about. So
it was hard work, but as long as you're doing something that you love, it's not work. So all the energy that we're putting into this wall, we hope that you guys can
feel it from it, enjoy it on your daily commutes.
And we hope that you guys could see the effort that is giving into this image to give you a sense of inner peace, and know that we live in a world that is still thriving. Humanity still has a chance to thrive, and there's extreme abundance around all of us for all of us to win. There's no need for there to be a competition. There's abundance everywhere.
You yourself, if you look within yourself and bring inner peace to yourself, I mean, you'll be a beam of light, and you know, you'll gravitate, good things will come to you. So, you know, just keep pushing and just keep your head up and be positive. And you know, that will be that. So Deltron and Shmi out.